Hey, True Believers, Englentine here. Here's a bit of the live stream that everybody got all up in arms and about, but they never seen. So you could watch it. Just a little warning, I'm on a bad laptop in a hurricane in a hotel room. So my sound goes out. The only thing I edited was like a 5-minute thing where Dalton was on a delay and he did this, can you hear me now? Listen to the whole damn thing. Don't be some sort of wimp that goes, well, what you mean is, no, we said words, listen to the words, talk about the words we said. Also, watch all of them. Don't listen to the first 5 minutes, comment, and then find out, if you would watch just 10 minutes more, what you said would have been addressed. If you're going to be moaning and complaining, then stand up and actually listen to the whole thing and talk about what we said. Anyway, here we go.
Hey. Okay, there you go. And looks like we have a Mike, Mike Miller with us today as well.
What is up? What's going on, guys?
Oh, we're working in a hotel.
I just Hello, Mike. Aloha Hour and saw your invitation, so thought I'd pop in and try to bring some of my peeps with me. My peeps in the chat.
Well, I saw that our kids went up a bit, so I appreciate that. How's it going? And you've been mentioning, are you going through this or what? You've been mentioning, let's do a live stream. I didn't know if you wanted to be one-on-one, but we're doing a bit of we're riding out a storm thing here tonight. So, yeah.
Are you East Coast Floridians, I take it?
Yeah, we are. Well, we're Central Floridians. I'm like right outside of Disney, but right now we're right outside of Universal Studios.
Oh, wow. Wow.
We're right
in the storm.
Yep, that's how it is, and it looks awesome outside. It really does. Really does. By the way, everybody who came in because of Mike, thank you very much, and nice to meet you. If you haven't seen anything I Love Comics, or if you've heard bad things about them, or I'm pretty sure. So that's my favorite thing, though. My favorite thing was during the debate last year, I actually watched your reaction to it. And you were like, oh my God, this guy curses a lot. He needs help. Well, you were like, no, this guy's out there. You were just going off, not just on what I was saying, but how I was saying it. I was like, this guy's awesome. I like him. I think I sent you a message saying I loved all your critiques, man. It was freaking awesome.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember what I said in the debate, though.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since last year. All I remember was you saying that because I curse a lot. Yeah. I've actually had to calm down.
With the language here, so that's that.
Not anymore because YouTube people who cuss too much.
The hammer.
Yeah.
That's right. I was ahead of my time.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I was kind of interested because you said, hey, let's get on. I thought I was like, okay, well, normally I don't get too many people saying, hey, they want to join a live stream from New CG. So I was very curious.
What's New CG?
What made the CG2 after the debate? At CG2, you guys are more of a company now than what we used to be. So, and that's actually how
I'm with you.
Oh, okay.
I also do not believe that Comicsgate should be creators. If that's what you believe, I think Comicsgate should remain a fan movement.
Okay.
Well, here's what I believe. I'll lay it out and give me just a moment. And then comics get a wig? Hell no! I earned this. I earned this. Give me my hat. Obviously, somebody's decided to call me. Where's my hat? Here you go. Jesus.
Okay, Mike. Okay, Mike. If you don't mind my hat.
All right,
hold on just a second. Shinobi, hold on. Let me finish what I was saying, and then I'll say, okay, whether we like it or not, CG is now what it is. It's a bunch of comic book creators, and they are doing their books. You've got Lone Star, And God bless them, and more power to them, because they are trying to fill an empty hole, to basically write and make books to the people who are being ignored by the big two, and that's awesome. I wish everybody success. Because they've chosen to do that, the people who I guess are OG Comicsgate or the people who were calling out Marvel and DC, I think we now have a responsibility to make sure we're calling out the people who are calling themselves Comicsgate creators if they do the same behaviors, if they're not putting out quality books. Yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah.
You remember about 9 or 10 months ago, Ethan left Comicsgate for 45 minutes or a day, and he
what that long, really?
12 hours. I don't know. He flipped and he flopped. And he said, you know what? Englentine, Captain Cummings, Doug, all these guys are right. Comicsgate is a fan movement, and it should always be a fan movement. And if you're a creator, you should not be Comicsgate. It should. And this was his position for all of about, I don't know, 12 hours. But when he said that back then, I was like, yeah, he's right. And I left. I stopped calling myself Comicsgate back then. Nobody really seemed to notice, I guess, because I'm not as big as Ethan. But I'd never called. Every time I called myself, or every time somebody asked me if I'm Comicsgate, I would say, I believe in Comicsgate. I do believe in Comicsgate, but I believe it is what you guys, I guess, refer to as CG 1.0. That's
a set of principles and ideas rather than a structure.
Rather than a brand, right? Yes. Comicsgate cannot be someone's personal brand. It is a movement of tens or who knows, hundreds of thousands of fans who have their own opinions, and a lot of people have their own stinking definitions. So what do you want to do?
Well, one thing also is, and this is something we had a discussion. Apparently, you put out a joke during Pride Month, and I just heard about this. It was something about pride is a sin or something like that, which I thought was in bad taste, but it was funny.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have nothing against. Huh?
I said it wasn't meant to be like mean or anything.
I figured it was just being smart-ass, but the point I was getting at is I heard that you got backlash from like Ethan and so forth and so on. And my thinking is this: even if CG is, you know, company, Lone Star, you are your own company. CG, it's like Image. It's like Image. Lone Star is yours. You're not. And if I mentioned this as well, because we talked, there be a leader of his when it was like myself, Cummings, Doug Ernst, and Richard leading the way. And they said, should we have a leader? I'm like, no. You know, if DNC, for as big as he did, told me how to run my channel, I'd tell him to go screw himself. And then I said, how are you going to pick the leader? Is it going to be by subs? For a while back there, I had more subs than Weaponized Nerd Rage. Imagine me trying to tell Weaponized Nerd Rage what to do, and how quickly he would come over just to put his foot up my ass to, you know. Yeah.
And he would be totally justified in doing so. Yeah.
Yes, he would. I'd be like, yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, thank you, sir. May I have another? You know, no, there can't be a leader in Comicsgate because we all have to be individuals. That was part of what I saw with the what was that hashtag we were using when we bought comics?
Move the needle.
Move the needle. Thank you. One guy took a picture, and in his pile of comic needle was God dang it.
Metropolitan.
The baseball bat. Which one?
Trans-Metropolitan.
No. The baseball bat girl. The one.
Max Visaggio.
Max Visaggio. Thank you. It was her book, and he's like.
I thought you were trying to say the title of it was trans, not the.
That's what I was thinking
So
first.
that's what I thought too. So I was trying to fill in the.
So yeah, you know what? Yeah, my memory's done. You guys take it away. I'm done. But the point is, we should be buying what we like, and we should be promoting what we like. And if you want, we're going to do ROSEBOOM. But it's great to tell people, hey, look, yeah, we don't like this one, but maybe the thing is if somebody likes Mags Visaggio, more power to you. Show your work, but more power to you.
Well, it also had a practical purpose, because the whole point of Move the Needle at the time was every, for lack of a better term, SJW comic book creator was dismissing us because we're not important. We're not the audience. We have no power in the market. We're just a, small fractionalized group of incels. I don't think they were using incel at the time, but those kind of comments. So Move the Needle was essentially about, okay, you want to say that we have no power and that we're not the main audience for comic books? Well, we'll create this thing called Move the Needle and show you that we're the ones actually buying the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was actually, I believe, designed to actually help comic book stores, right?
Yeah.
Because
the idea
they want to be backing stuff that people actually want to buy.
Let's see. Then I want to get some comments here, because I'm sure a lot of people have something to say, especially since you jumped in. What with you being a celebrity and all.
Wow.
Hey, you know what?
Did bring the gun show.
There you go. Let's see. Actually, no, I'm a huge fan of Injustice. So I was like, wait, he drew that? Wow. So
I did.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Glad you like it. Big fan of Tom Taylor's work, are you?
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. Some work that I haven't liked, but I do particularly like Injustice, and I do like the art in it. Thank you very much. Or you're welcome.
It's a very strange thing, Tom. I mean, dude, before Trump broke Tom, I really think he was on his way to being one of the greatest writers of our generation.
X-Men Red was not good.
No.
The what?
X-Men Red.
X-Men Red. Not good.
I hear everything he's done for Marvel has sucked, but everything he was doing at DC up into and mostly during Injustice, I thought was just fantastic.
Yeah. I thought his Wolverine started out good, but after the Enemy of the State 2, it just went downhill.
Yeah, I bought one of those trades. I don't know which one it was, and I tried to read that thing, and I was like, dude.
Let me get them.
I wanted to freaking email him and be like, what are you doing?
What have you done?
You're better than that. You know you did. Yeah. Let's see. Money saying, everyone on the stream, vote on Edwin Boyer's Twitter poll to decide who at Blacklist Universe and others draw in D&Q. D&Q, drawn and quartered, right?
Yeah, drawn and quartered tomorrow night. We're trying to figure out what to draw. So.
Oh.
Hey, there's a hurricane going on. You could draw a Florida man in a hurricane. Let's see. Old man, Maranya saying, old man.
X-Men.
We could draw Trump with the nuke. Versus the hurricane.
Or no, have you heard that he actually started the whole Space Command thing? You should draw like an image of Donald Trump in like spacesuit in space.
Pointing down at the hurricane saying nuke it.
No, we need Tim's character, the rabbit. We need President on.
I did a video on Magica Dispel from DuckTales. You can say, hey, and y'all should go watch this video because, I need someone else to fill. Maranya saying Old Man Comics is rocking the Kingpin's younger, smarter brother look, not the Bendis look. Well, thank you for that. The joke about it was I look like Kingpin's less intimidated brother. Yeah. let's see, creator is fine, but should not be the main thing. Well, yeah, we're not saying that. Obviously, as a fan, like Mike is could be CG, but what he's talking about, the fan side of Mike can be, because we need to look at Mike's books even and say, dude, what's going on? Or if he starts treating you bad or something like that, you have to start, the same way you would treat anybody from Marvel and DC. If they turned on the fans, you got to, if with CG, if you make it about the comic book creator rather than the comic book reader or customer, eventually you're going to get to a point where people are going to say, if you complain about them, if you point out stuff they're doing wrong, then you are against the movement itself. And that has actually happened, because we do know there's a group of people who do go after people when they say something.
Yep. Does someone else have a question for me regarding this?
I did.
Go for it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Not
what was it that?
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so what was it that drew you to Comicsgate in the first place?
I was friends with Ethan, and he's like, dude, you got to start, building up your YouTube channel and blah 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 and all the stuff. And we were just talking behind the scenes, and then that day his campaign ended, and he got to $400,000. He invited me on the stream, and then he was just, going on and saying, Mike, you got to join Comicsgate. You got to join Comicsgate. And I'm like, I didn't even know what Comicsgate was. I wasn't following any of this stuff. But it was Ethan. He's telling me to join. I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. And then that's why, the next day I was doing that Comicsgate Alliance print, the drawing. And that's what got into all the hot water with Tim Lin, because I didn't know jack crap about it. And I'm like, hey, is this, this rabbit stuff is at Comicsgate? And I asked Ethan, and then it's suddenly, Ethan is the gatekeeper of Comicsgate. And it's all out of my ignorance. And then it was just over time, I got to know what it was about and who the people were involved and all that kind of stuff. And I was just already here trying to build my own YouTube channel because I saw the model working, right?
Right.
And then Ethan jumped me into Comicsgate, and then the debate thing with Doug Ernst, when Doug Ernst and Cummings, they're the ones that kind of flipped out about the whole thing. And I have nothing against Ernst, and I honestly haven't even talked to Cummings. But when I got on that stream, and Ernst and the guys were sitting there and they were explaining what Comicsgate was, that's the point. I'm like, brother, if that's what Comicsgate is, I've been fighting this fight for 2 decades. Where have you guys been? Yeah. And so I didn't want to be
needed
like,
the platform.
like, I am Comicsgate. No, but I understand, and I'm gonna maintain. I'm not gonna flip flop on this. Comicsgate is Comicsgate 1.0. Comicsgate is the fans. Okay. And me saying I'm Comicsgate is like Harrison Ford saying he's a fan of Star Wars. It just doesn't work.
Right.
Okay.
Because Harrison Ford's not a fan of Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually glad you said it that way, because in my opinion, for a creator to label himself Comicsgate, you kind of limit yourself when you do that.
Yeah, and while I was doing it, I understood that to be true, and I had always maintained that Comicsgate, as it being the fans, it is a marketplace, and I serve Comicsgate at Comicsgate's leisure, right? If I do something,
that is actually what I was bringing up last year.
Huh?
That's what I was bringing up last year in the debate. I was saying, no, it's awesome that people are here because you are now, delivering. But sometimes when I get fired up, just kind of gets over. I lose. I lose my ability to speak clearly, I guess. I don't know. But I was trying to say, it's what they're doing now. They're calling it Comicsgate. There's so many more of them. I'm okay with it because to me, it's a tainted name. Because the things that happen, if you go, well, look, we need to talk about this. So Comicsgate, yes, it's an instance. it's a tainted name, but it's not tainted ideals.
Are you saying
at
it's
all?
controversial?
As a matter of fact, we are right. Say again.
I said, are you saying it's controversial?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, but only for those who don't understand.
Inconceivable.
Yeah,
Inconceivable.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
No, so far I'm agreeing with everything you're saying, bro.
The big last year with Rikita, and oh, by the way, I do appreciate. I had watched it recently, and I was reading comments, the chat, and it's kind of funny that I've got a lot of friends that were on the opposite side of the issue. Like you would see, I saw a couple of chats where like, oh, this Englantine's full of he needs to die. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, we talk now. I think that's freaking awesome.
I think I missed half of what you said.
Did I blank out again?
Your video too, as well.
You were cutting out a bit.
I believe you did.
Your computer's making you robot again.
You have become the Transformer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I joined a delay too. Whenever I see Mike speak, I see him speak first, then I hear the audio. It's weird.
Oh, okay. All righty. If it happens too much, I'll just give it over to Mike. That's who most people came to.
I wanted to hear your point. Can you truncate it and say it again?
Yeah, I mentioned how last year I noticed when I read the chats, because you guys are so popular, your chats go by so quickly. Usually I'm reading the chat a little bit more often than I am here. So I just went down and I read all the comments, and some of the people who were telling me to go F myself and I should die and all that are people that I actually talk to now. I think that's kind of a strange turn of events, because people realize, well, wait a second. One person was talking about the customers and the others were talking about, you know, the importance of the creator, or like, so they were going for that. They decided, wait a second, I am the customer. It took a while. It took a while for people to realize.
When you're right at first, you're a heretic, but eventually it just becomes the truth.
Yeah, there you go. Well, the joke I tell is that Englentine and the words Englentine and are wrong are very rarely needed to be in the same sentence. My wife hates that, by the way. So what you need to know is, if I'm arguing with you, I'm right. So shut up. And she goes, I will smack you.
I love how
goes over.
Do it.
Whenever he praises a comic, that comic immediately gets a bad writer on it, and it tanks.
Jeez.
Happened twice.
It happened with Superman and Action Comics, and then it happened again with Aquaman. So now I'm talking about the guy with the Mason wings, because I'm afraid of what they're going to take Robert Venditti off of that book. Yeah. So let's see. Tillian saying SJW and Trump worshippers and Bush worshippers are in denial. Oh, okay. SJWs are Trump worshippers and Bush worshippers in denial. That's an interesting take.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, okay, there is an
I
argument there, because they.
What is that? Authenticator?
I think we lost him.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid the delay, that because StreamYard hates my phone and it's crapping out constantly.
Yes. Yeah, that seems to have a thing with mobiles.
Muerte in the chat says, Mike and Doug to me are CG, just not Ethan's CG. I don't think Ethan is CG because he doesn't follow his own ideals. And Haru agrees and says, to EVS, CG is a brand. And I think that's kind of the crux of it. To EVS, CG is a brand, and a brand I think he thinks he owns.
Actually obvious, because he talked about protecting it all the time. But I would go to say, Muerte, one point that Mike is trying to make, and I absolutely agree with it. I've said it for a long time as well. You're CG. As a fan of Mike, you're CG. You're the person who's part of CG. You know, the fan side of Mike is, if he wants to remove himself as a creator, that's up to him. But that's nothing we're going to do. That's his choice. Hikaru, Dark Admiral, Undead Quinn, Maranya, Eric Breen, Brandon Moore, Englentine, Dr. Venkman, Shinobi, Authenticator, Dalton. They are CG. The customer, the reader, that's CG. You're the ones who, by speaking out or by following those who do speak out, and by that, I'm not saying it's a requirement. You are the ones that are CG, because you're saying, look, we recognize this is a problem in the comic book industry, and we're just trying to get our voices heard. And maybe you don't have the platform, or maybe you don't have the time that I have to waste on YouTube. You know, so you say, okay, I'm going to back you rather than because I can't do it for, yeah. So we're here, you know, and we're doing that. And this is no way, shape, or form shilling. As if I said, you know, go on over to Patreon or to Ko-Fi, drop $1 in the till, or chat. That I shill sometimes, but I'm not doing that right now. Point being is, yeah, that was a bad joke. But point being is yeah, you guys, we're all CG, man. Not just the people who are making the books. Or as Mike says, they can't be, because we need to watch them as much as we do Marvel, DC, IDW, Dynamite, and so forth.
Who watches the Watchmen?
Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. That's just part one. There is a lot more. Ed Boyett shows up, as a matter of fact. If this video is successful, then I'll put the rest of it on. I've got enough videos tanking on my channel then to go after this. But if you guys want to see the second half, I need to see some comments. I need to see some shares. I definitely need to see some views. Otherwise, let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you don't mind helping out the channel, going over to Patreon or to Ko-Fi and drop $1 in the till. Like, thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.